Alright. We are back. Internet is more stable. Less bullshit. You fucking hell. Anyways, let's get back to it.
Isn't it a fact that thousands of federal workers were fired over the last few days, including by Elon Musk? And to which the lawyer responded, I have not been able to independently confirm that. She said, I'm sorry, you come into it's not a small thing, thousands of employees to be fired, and you can't figure out whether it happened or not. See, this is what I've said from the very beginning, at the start of these 70 cases, that the Department of Justice lacks credibility in a way that it never had before, under Biden and even under Republican presidents. And now federal judges, including the ones in the moderate to liberal states, are not buying anything that the Department of Justice is selling under Trump, not believing it, putting their feet to the fire, challenging them at every cause, because they don't have any credibility. When I was a lawyer in courtrooms around the country, when I made an argument or make an argument in front of a judge, I have enough credibility that the judge knows that I'm not going to mislead them. I'm not going to tell them the law stands for a proposition that it doesn't stand for. I'm not going to lie to them about the facts, the law. And as a benefit, I get a little bit of credibility related to that. However, here, there's no credibility at the start of any argument by a DOJ employee for Donald Trump, because they take outlandish, unreasonable positions that are inconsistent with the law, the Constitution, and facts. And judges are saying, yeah, I'm fine. I don't believe it. So that's where we are right now. And what's going to happen is in the next 24 hours, we're going to get the actual ruling from Tanya Chutkan, the judge. But let me just give you a spoiler alert. Let me tell you what I think is going to happen. Based on her being, scrunching up her nose a bit about the irreparable harm between now and 14 days from now. She didn't really find irreparable harm from Friday to Monday. I don't think she's going to find it from here to 14 days. Again, it doesn't mean she's not going to ultimately grant the preliminary injunction. It just means she doesn't need to grant a temporary restraining order in advance. And again, federal judges don't like to waste their power. They have limited jurisdictional power. And if there's no irreparable harm right now, as she said out loud, I can't do a prophylactic temporary restraining order. What is the harm ongoing in the future that I need to prevent? They're not articulating it properly. I think that group has to regroup, the group of 14 attorney general, come back to her in 14 days on full briefing and take another shot at irreparable harm. And I think they'll win that at that time. So I think we're going to see a denial of the temporary restraining order by Judge Chutkan.
Old Mage Guy is now live. Streaming politics. Morning news with OMG.
Grant the preliminary injunction, block Elon Musk and Doge continuing to run a wrecking ball and have access to information in all those departments that I mentioned at the top of the hot take, right? And that'll be the case until the end of the trial. We'll continue to follow it right here on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF. You know where you can follow me. I'm Michael Popok, right here on the Midas Touch Network, about 4 or 5 times a day. Then a new channel. Legal.
Starting out with your finances, you want to see your money grow. Credit Karma can help you improve.
The Trump regime has crossed into full autocracy. If you can't see that or don't believe it, it's time to wake up to our shared reality. Let's start with Doge, the Elon Musk self-serving faux Department of Government efficiency that Trump has subcontracted so that he can play golf and take the credit without doing any work. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island dismissed Republican claims of targeting waste, fraud, and abuse as a mere cover for their true agenda, comparing Trump's dismissal of inspectors general to firing the cops before robbing the bank. Whitehouse argued that the administration was intentionally destabilizing government institutions to benefit Trump's wealthy donors and special interests that view regulations as an obstacle.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in a separate legal effort, 23 Democratic state attorneys general have intensified their challenges against Doge's actions as well as deep budget cuts at the Treasury, USAID, and other federal agencies. Arizona's Attorney General, Chris Mays, said, "In the US, we appeal rulings we disagree with. We don't ignore court orders or threaten judges with impeachment just because we don't like the decision. This is a coup, plain and simple."
About time you're seeing it.
According to Doge's own recently hacked website, no corruption or excessive waste has been found. The listings that they've put, some of which compromise national security, weren't anything out of the ordinary. It's just that Musk and Trump have no idea how government works, so some of these things came as a bit of a shock to them. The latest round of layoffs came as Musk said on Thursday that the US should delete entire agencies from the federal government as part of his strategy to shutter any investigations or regulations that affect his own businesses. And let's be honest, if Musk really wanted to cut federal spending, he would start with military spending. The USA is the largest military spender in the world. In 2023, it paid out $880 billion, more than the next 8 countries combined. And then there's the cost of the military itself. In 2023, the US military spent approximately $820.3 billion, or roughly 13.3% of the entire federal budget for that fiscal year. Instead, Doge has culled individuals, people, and policies whose ideology Musk and MAGA disagrees with, especially essential diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in foreign aid to black Africans. This is not about cost savings. It never was. It's simply white supremacy, racism, and abject cruelty.
Yep.
I mean, in your opinion, you might not want 0.63% of the federal budget spent on foreign aid. But what Musk isn't telling you is that this independent agency's goal is to counter Chinese and Russian influence and advance America's interests by strategically providing foreign aid where it's needed. Broadly, USAID aims to fight disease, reduce poverty, and address humanitarian needs. It's a big mission that makes up just a tiny slice of overall government spending, but ensures that America leads the world with outreach, providing life-saving assistance to approximately 130.
That factor right there is what made us Big Brother. That was America's carry. That right there is the only reason we were what we were. It's the rest of the world. And it's about time some of you fuckers understand that. It wasn't military power that made us Big Brother.
Countries preventing AIDS and
Mr.
other
Tassin
diseases
Carey.
from reaching America. But the removal of funding won't just stop with foreign aid. Trump, Musk, and the MAGA Republicans are coming for your health care too. And I know they said they wouldn't, but they lied. The latest GOP budget plan proposes slashing up to $880 billion from Medicaid, with more hardline conservatives demanding even deeper reductions. Despite this, Trump and Mike Johnson claim these cuts will target only waste and abuse, denying that Medicaid itself is in jeopardy. However, the notion of painless Medicaid cuts is misleading. The program provides essential care for tens of millions of Americans, including seniors.
There is no way you're taking anything from Medicaid and not harming people. Let's just be real here. You can't cut from Medicaid and not cause harm to people who quite literally need it. And that's why they're on Medicaid. You know, all of you who sit there and get jealous about people who are disabled, stop it. Ain't nothing to fucking be jealous of. To have to still sit here and continue to struggle for your basic needs is not something to be jealous of. To not be allowed to work, to make more money, is not something to be jealous of. treating us like shit, talking down to us because you think that we're lazy, first off, comparatively, you're a lazy son of a bitch working a job. Not dealing with chronic pain, chronic fatigue, and all that good shit all the time. It not going away. No, people on disability are on disability for a reason. People who are on Medicaid are on Medicaid for a reason. Whether or not you know what the reason is, doesn't fucking matter. And technically, it's none of your goddamn business either. People's disabilities are their own private business. If you're going to be judging somebody based on their disabilities, you might as well just fucking drive a railroad spike through your foot. And then come talk to us after you've had it removed and you're dealing with the constant pain from it. And I've had people leave because of this. And you know what? Leave. That's fine. I'm tired of the fucking bullshit. Tired of you jealous motherfuckers trying to call disabled people lazy. When they do more just to get the fuck out of bed in the morning than you do in your entire day. They have to deal with more in 1 minute of the day than you do your entire day. Kiss my ass. You sorry sack of shit.
In long-term care, people with disabilities, low-income workers, and children. Any major reduction in funding would significantly impact these vulnerable groups, despite Republican efforts to present the cuts as harmless fiscal discipline. Meanwhile, the GOP plans to extend Trump's 2017 tax cuts, adding over $4 trillion to the deficit over a decade, while increasing military and homeland security spending. We've cleaned up our diets, removed the harsh chemicals from our homes, so why are we still relying on outdated remedies for our health? Let me tell you about the highest quality CBD from CB Distillery. They offer natural, plant-based solutions. Economists and the Congressional Budget Office. With Social Security and Medicare supposedly off limits, Medicaid in the short term has become the primary target for cuts, but Republican leaders face a dilemma, convincing moderates to accept nearly $1 trillion in Medicaid reductions while pushing tax breaks for the wealthiest Americans. Their strategy hinges on disguising the cuts as efficiency measures rather than outright slashes to essential health care. 3 key policies will likely define this approach. First, Republicans may impose stricter work requirements for Medicaid eligibility. This would add bureaucratic hurdles that could strip coverage from hundreds of thousands of people, despite little evidence that such measures boost employment. In Arkansas, a similar policy in 2018 led to thousands losing coverage without any increase in workforce participation. The CBO estimates a national rollout would leave 600,000 people
Maybe because disabled people can't work, you morons. We're not lazy, we just can't fucking work. 1, no one will fucking hire us. Because we're disabled. Novel idea, huh? 2, we're a liability because we're disabled. Novel idea again. 2 or 3, many of us can be really fucking unstable. Mind you, Most of us don't see it as unstable. Most of us see it as you fucking morons sitting there shoving your heads up your asses and trying to blame us for it. We don't like being scapegoats. Every single one of us has had enough of that bullshit.
Uninsured while raising only a fraction of the revenue needed to offset tax cuts for the wealthy. It's a scam. Secondly, GOP leaders will push for Medicaid per capita caps, a policy that would limit funding per enrollee without accounting for rising healthcare costs. This would force states to reduce benefits, cut provider payments, or drop people from coverage altogether. Analysis shows that most states would have faced drastic Medicaid cuts had such caps been in place over the past 4 years, disproportionately affecting seniors and people with disabilities. But Trump doesn't care. Third, Republicans will undermine the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, or Obamacare, by reducing federal funding for Medicaid expansion under the guise of blended rates. This move could lead states to drop their expanded coverage, putting up to 21 million Americans at risk of losing their health insurance. And additional measures could include restricting how states fund Medicaid or altering poverty calculations to disqualify people from the program. While MAGA Republicans claim that these cuts will be harmless, the reality is clear. Slashing Medicaid to fund tax breaks for the wealthy will harm millions of Americans who depend on the program. And it's likely that more than half of the recipients of these cuts voted for Trump.
Yep.
And to top it all, Elon Musk, the world's richest man with his $400 billion fortune, could cover all of these cuts so that no American suffers.
Yeah.
But he's not a philanthropist.
Nope.
He's a fascist.
Yep.
And now he's in charge. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.
And I'm sorry if you think for a second that Elon's going to try to do some good. You've been lied to. And not a little bit. Like a whole metric fuck ton.
We can all use some good news in politics. We just got some. Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania just sued the Trump administration over its unconstitutional federal funding freeze, arguing that Pennsylvania's $1.2 billion in funds were already appropriated by Congress. And this is funding that will impact healthcare and education and cancer research and so much more. And the reason that this lawsuit in particular is so important is because the only bulwark in the federal government's absence is the state governments, and the states are now responding. But the reality is that we're in for a fight, and it's not going to be easy. Trump has the DOJ at his disposal, right-wing media at his disposal, Elon's unlimited funding at his disposal. But what we have is public pressure, and that alone is more important than anything. So let's use it. I'm going to make a small ask that doesn't cost a penny. It'll only take 2 minutes out of your day. Call or send a letter to a member of Congress using the link in my link tree and tell them to join the fight, to use the states and the courts and every lever we have at our disposal to push back. The number, if you want to call, is 202-224-3121. They log these calls and they make a difference. And they log the letters coming in. Again, the link in my bio. The time for sadness is over. Now is the time to fight back.
Yeah. Pretty quite simple. Time to be sad is over. It's time to change that S for them. It's time to get mad. It's time to start making some noise. We tried being quiet. That didn't work. So now we've got to get loud.
Look, this is a hearing about free speech. My colleague from Texas said nobody blamed Biden for the cost of eggs. And he has every right to say it's free speech. But that is total bullshit.
Yep.
Okay? Look,
Steph
President
Springs
Trump
Nursery.
blamed him on October 26th
Hey, Steph.
before the election, blaming him for the price of eggs. But, this is a hearing about free speech. My colleague from Texas said nobody blamed Biden for the
No,
cost.
we don't need to keep playing it. It's a short. Play it once.
You want to work and earn a higher salary, because if that's you, you're very, very
YouTube. Steph Springs Nursery. I'm checking on you today to see how you're doing. I've been so busy. YouTube. Steph
Pretty rough
Springs
couple days.
Nursery. Today I have to go take care of my mother, and she lives about 40 minutes away.
Sounds about right, especially the way things are going now. I hope your mother doesn't end up losing some of the stuff that she needs to take care of herself, or for you to be able to even help take care of her. My biggest thing is I don't care if you voted for Trump. If you still support him now, that's the problem. And I don't have anything against you if you support him. I got something against your thought process. Because you leaving out facts and information that you needed to not leave. Like, whether you knew it or not, doesn't matter. It's not that big of a linchpin. Time for that to be important is over. Now we gotta save our country from a tech oligarch and a wannabe property oligarch. That's very minimal. I don't have any more information on what the other tech bros were doing up there. When I do know, I will share. As far as how am I doing, kind of pissed off. Yesterday, and well, primarily yesterday, I had to deal with people coming in trying to say that I was faking my disability. And that I'm just lazy. Needless to say, I don't take kindly to that shit. Especially after having to fight 7 years to get it.
YouTube. Steph Springs Nursery. What are you thinking about today?
Primarily that. Primarily thinking how that stupid shit's come back around. I hadn't had to hear that fucking phrase for many years, and it was nice. Just to have to hear it 2 times in the same day. Yeah. Basically just paying attention to how everything's going to shit. Try and get the word out. The sources that are at least a little less biased. And as some of you may see, I will call them out when they're being biased or just adding too much fucking opinion into shit.
Go path President Donald Trump doing on President's Day? Did you get
The reason for that, I'm here for facts. I'm here for information. I'm not here for hype and oil. I'm not here.
YouTube.
For
Steph
bullshit.
Springs Nursery. I share everything that I know too.
I know. And I hope you know I wasn't meaning directly to you, Stephs. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. You find me one perfect person.
YouTube.
I'll take care of
Steph
that.
Springs Nursery. Oh, I totally understand that.
Yeah, you find me someone perfect, and I'll fix their perfection real quick. 'Cause I'm sorry, perfect's a problem. Perfect is not something that should exist. The closest thing to perfect we will get is something is perfect for someone's opinion. That is
YouTube.
close.
Steph Springs Nursery. They're always trying to get people off of disability, especially if they can't see the disability, like if it's in the mind.
Mm-hmm. I know. And the worst part is this is just fucking random people that are coming in my streams and don't fucking know me. They haven't spent any time in my streams. And it's like, you know what, motherfuckers? If everything I'd been through had physical show, you'd be looking at a walking scar.
YouTube. Steph Springs Nursery. When I text something to reply to something you said, it seems to take at least 3 minutes before it tells you what I've said.
Yes, it is about a 3-minute delay. I'm not exactly sure where that is. It's somewhere between it coming from me to restream to YouTube, then from YouTube out to you, then from you back to YouTube, back to restream, and back to me.
YouTube. Steph Springs Nursery. I hope you do a live later. I'm going to get my stuff together and get on the road. God bless you, and you have a good day.
Alright, stay safe out there, drive careful. I'll catch you when you come back. Yeah, I'll be live. They're like, huh? That reminds me, that's something I need to work on today, is changing point values. And considering I'm not using the controller plugged in, I don't have that issue, so I might actually just need to take that one off. It doesn't hit me the way it's supposed to.
YouTube. Steph Springs Nursery. Jesus Christ is perfect.
Dear, if you think JC is perfect, you haven't read your Bible well enough. Even JC admits to not being perfect.
YouTube. Steph Springs Nursery. I agree, the only one that's perfect is Jesus Christ.
Not even he is perfect, and he admits that has said it himself. It's in your Bible, dear. It really is. Even the dude upstairs says he's not perfect. There is literally no religion that says their God or their how would you? I don't want to call Jesus a demigod because it just doesn't quite feel right. He was, but he wasn't. As the stories go, he was, but he wasn't. So...
YouTube. Steph Springs Nursery. It makes me angry knowing that Americans that need help can't get help. Why they sent all the money to help people in other countries. I can't wait for things to change.
Dear, our people that need help are being denied help by our people. Quite literally, Americans are denying Americans help. They're willing to help other countries, but not willing to help each other. Because that's, they feel it's something that should be optional. You shouldn't have to pay taxes on it. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work. And that's been proven for a few decades now. The problems that should be being solved by this form of
YouTube.
charity.
Steph
Don't.
Springs Nursery. Bye bye. Stay strong. Talk to you later.
Later, Stephs. No. Americans are not having trouble funding to be able to take care of their own people. That's not what's going on. Quite literally, what's going on is people bitching that people aren't taken care of, don't want to pay to make sure everybody's taken care of equally. But still want to bitch about it. They want to bitch about a problem, but they don't want to fix it. And it's been this way for a fucking while. Biggest point, universal health care. And the funny thing is, to some extent, here in America, it's being done. But it's being done in the most disjointed and horrible way possible. Through GoFundMe. Yeah. Y'all who are starting GoFundMe for your medical shit, congratulations! That's single-payer healthcare. Congratulations! That's group healthcare! Congratulations! That's everything that was being talked about on the smaller scale. Now you just gotta do it on a larger scale and no one has to pay as much. Why are my fellow countrymen so stupid? Mind you, not all of them. It's maybe, it was said to be about 40%, somewhere between 40 and 45. I can't say that's everybody. It's not even half of everybody.
That's not working and vacationing and playing golf all day. Ding, ding, ding. You would be right. Donald Trump spent the whole day playing golf and making posts about himself, posting his mugshot with threatening messages all day and showing that his mugshot was hanging in the Oval Office. Great work, Trump voters, for putting a felon in the Oval Office. In addition, Donald Trump made no statements yesterday about Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia, which suffered devastating storms. At least 12 people died in Kentucky, according to their governor, Andy Beshear. Take a look at this political cartoon by the Salt Lake Tribune. I think it sums up Donald Trump's priorities the way they actually are, which is to help the billionaires and the oligarchs. Donald Trump in the GOP budget has nothing about no tax on tips. It says nothing about no tax on Social Security. It says nothing about no tax on overtime. It does have a $4.5 trillion tax cut,
for the billionaires and the richest Americans. They're winning, and $880 billion in Medicaid gets cut. Say goodbye to Medicaid. About $250 billion in cuts to agriculture and farming, and about $350 billion in cuts go to education. Donald Trump attacking the most vulnerable. But can we get back just for a second? Can I come with receipts for a moment? Remember what Donald Trump promised on the campaign? He said on day one he was going to lower the prices right away, like a miracle. He said he'd be able to do it. Here, play this clip.
So when I win,
No. Quit beating the dead horse.
Putin. He said he put him in a room together. He said even before day one of his term, he would solve the Russia's unlawful invasion in Ukraine, although he didn't use those words. And he said at least on day one, it would all be solved because he would bring Zelensky and Putin together. That didn't happen. Instead, Donald Trump today is having his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, meet directly with Russia's Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, in Saudi Arabia. They've been Europe and Ukraine in these negotiations. But just to show you, here is what Donald Trump said during the campaign. Play the clip.
End the war in Ukraine in 24 hours.
Yes, sir.
How would you do that?
I know Zelensky very well.
I'll end that war between those two countries in 24 hours. It won't even take that long.
Quite the split screen right here as well, as Martin Heinrich explains. Hundreds of FAA employees are let go as Trump's mass layoffs continue. The firing of nearly 300 Federal Aviation Administration employees comes just weeks after a mid-air collision in Washington, D.C., killing 67 people. Also, prior to yesterday, there was at least, I think, 4 lethal plane crashes that had taken place as well, in as many or right in that amount of weeks. And then 18 people were injured yesterday after the Delta flight crashes at the Toronto airport. All 80 people aboard the Delta Connection flight 4819, which left from Minnesota and then went to Canada, were accounted for, but 18 people injured and a few people seem to be critically injured as well. You know, and I'm not saying that absolutely took place because of...
Now, thankfully, no one was more than critically injured. There is so much deregulation going on, and so much risk to us, the citizens, us, the people. How can you fuckers not see it? Trump gets rid of the regulations. Everything starts going to shit. Things become less safe. You know, it's almost like the regulations were in place for a reason. Like maybe that was the smart and strong thing to do, instead of the weak and cowardly thing.
A specific cut, but I will say that morale is down at the FAA. I will say morale is down generally, and I'll say that there is a huge amount, an abnormal amount of crashes taking place, and that has taken place since Trump has assumed office. One of the other pieces of breaking news yesterday is that the Trump administration has been pressuring Romanian authorities to lift travel restrictions on the self-described misogynist influencer Andrew Tate, who was arrested for sex trafficking and trafficking of minors, among other conduct. And he's a big Trump supporter, and apparently
Yeah. Let that sink in. Any of you who support Andrew Tate, he's a convicted child sex trafficker. He's a fucking chomo. Dead to rights, Cotton-Act fucking chomo. And for that reason, he's in a foreign jail. And where he should remain.
time. Kyle Kalinske made or posted this little visual right here. This is the kind of circle of Trump and Epstein. Trump was best friends with Epstein. Trump does something that helps pedophiles. Trump was best friends with Epstein. Trump does something that helps pedophiles. I know that is very difficult for the MAGAs who support Donald Trump to understand, but Donald Trump said that Epstein was a great guy who likes women on the underside. Donald Trump created beauty pageants and said that he would use them to go into the locker rooms and inspect the women naked without their consent. Donald Trump's on audio talking about grabbing women's genitals without their consent, and he says because he's rich, they just let you do it. Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault in a federal trial where a jury unanimously found in favor of Donald Trump's victim. While all of this was going on, though, Donald Trump saying mission accomplished. He's saying he did everything already. He posted yesterday, even though it's been more than 17 days since he's been in office, although it's felt like an eternity. This is what Donald Trump posted yesterday. After just 17 frenetic days, Trump has already delivered a big part of his agenda. What part of the agenda is that? Trying to help people accused of sex trafficking?
That would be the agenda of dismantling the government. Project 2025 makes it really crystal clear. And again, if you have not read Project 2025, if you do not know what Project 2025 is even remotely about, until you read it, you got no place talking anything about Trump and what he wants to do. Because you don't have a goddamn clue. You've been lied to. And not a little bit. No, these motherfuckers have gone way the fuck out their way to lie to you. And try to make sure that you believe that lie. Take it from someone who's, well, specially tuned to catch liars. Take it from someone who's specially attuned and had to adapt to people lying all the goddamn time. Had to see it. Because if I didn't, it meant my shit got fucked up even more. Just like all y'all's shit's gonna get fucked up even more if you don't fucking find out the truth. Obviously, if you're against Trump right now, this does not pertain to you. Though, if you haven't read the project yet, I still would suggest you do so. It's not small beans. To say it's big beans is to understate it. In a grotesque and sickening way. Project 2025 quite literally highlights the destruction of America's democracy. Piece by piece. I get the system's fucked up and needs to be fixed. Yeah. You're not hearing argument from us on the left. But a sledgehammer is not how you fix it. A sledgehammer is not a tool for fixing things. No. A sledgehammer is not a fix. You take a sledgehammer to something that's working a little funky, and it stops working. Because the sledgehammer is not how you fix things. Not even using a sledgehammer to make a doorway in a wall is fixing something. The fix comes after you make the goddamn hole and then you clean up the fucking hole in the wall. For that, you need regular hammers, nails, plaster, stucco, 90-minute mud, or Quikrete. Those are tools. Those are for fixing and making things. Sledgehammers are for breaking and destroying things. You don't break and destroy a working machine. You pick it apart and evaluate it. You slowly take it apart properly, using the screws that are holding stuff in place, using the bolts holding stuff in place, and you keep track of where each thing goes, so that way you can put it back together. It's called reverse engineering. And it's something we're pretty damn good at as a species. So, why are you just taking a sledgehammer to it? And instead of taking the time to figure out how it works and fix it properly. That makes no sense. For real.
Going around in circles on a racetrack with the motorcade at the Daytona 500, while Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia, and places nearby, and cities therein, were underwater and suffering.
Once again, Trump supporters love that shit. Him going to the NASCAR race, costing us millions of dollars in taxpayer money, they don't give a fuck. He was there at the NASCAR race. He was involved. It was a fucking PR stunt. Nothing more. Donald Trump doesn't watch NASCAR. You kidding me? And that's why he didn't stay. Never mind the fact that
Dalbayeb.
I'm not sure what you're trying to say, my friend.
T. Sin Shlushi.
Oh, okay. That'd be a good reason. I don't know the language. Let me see if I can possibly get the translator so I can see what you're saying.
XOXLY Padarsi.
No, that's not what was said.
Abat Utah Public.
No, that's not what they had said.
Poshol-Naxi.
Bear with me, bud. Ah! Wrong thing. That would make more sense. But that's also not what was put in. Oh, you bastard. Yeah, that sounds about right. Depending on the context and how colorfully and elaborate you want to sound. Fair enough. That's kind of what I thought. Yeah, Russian. Doesn't surprise me too much to have a Vlad supporter in here. Someone so ignorant and arrogant of life around them that they would support Vladimir Putin. Yeah, you're special kind of stupid. I mean, for real. A man that has sat there and turned your country into a hellhole where y'all get out of your cars at road rage and grab bats and fucking tire irons and all kinds of stupid shit because you're fucking idiots. You think the only way you can solve shit is force. That's cowardice and stupidity. Straight up. I'm sorry you don't like the fact that I call out your almighty leader, Mr. Putin. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. You're gonna support some life piece of shit like that wants to invade everybody and treat everybody like shit? Yeah. Have fun. Denied. Onward.
Posting photos of your mugshot, trying to say that the Gulf of Mexico should be named the Gulf of America, putting forward $1 trillion in tax breaks for the billionaires and oligarchs. That's what you're bragging about. Yesterday, we also learned as well, or over the past few days, we've learned as well, that Argentina's president, Javier Milei, may now face impeachment. He may face a bunch of charges there as well for promoting a meme coin called Libra that he posted about over the weekend. He wrote, "Liberal Argentina grows. This private project will be dedicated to encouraging the growth of the Argentine economy by funding small Argentine businesses and startups. The world wants to invest in Argentina. Long live freedom, damn it."
ZDKeys.com. Shop the latest and upcoming the best prices. Enjoy incredible savings.
Oh.
On new releases. This out. ZDK.
The world wants to invest in Argentina. Long live freedom, damn it. And it was, this meme coin was led by, so involved in the Melania meme coin, the Melania meme coin, $ Melania, that meme coin crashed. Trump's meme coin is doing absolutely horrible, lost tens of billions of dollars as well. And yesterday we also learned that...
Oh. Yeah, let's touch on that for a second. I typically don't touch on this stuff too much because I don't typically rub salt in wounds. But how are those investments in DJT stock and all these meme coins put out by Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Melania doing for you dumb fucks? Making you any money yet? Because I'm pretty sure you're just losing it. Because you're falling for, I'm sorry, entry-level scams. Literally. These are basic scams. The kind of scam you get as a telemarketer calls you. Please, stop falling for this shit.
The Trump media company, which controls Truth Social and owns Truth Social. We got their annual financials. I'll do a whole other video about
getting Cutco knives from a door-to-door salesman is less scammy than these fucks are doing with that bullshit. And anyone who sold the Cutco knife knows they're fucking demon blades. The handle is designed to where they stand blade up. And that is more honest, legit, and less scammy than Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So, let me rephrase this. A knife that is sold door-to-door, a knife set that's sold door-to-door, that has, depending on how aware you are all the time, a 25 to 90% chance of cutting off on your fingers by accident while you set your hand on the fucking counter. They're good knives. They'll sever that goddamn finger. And you might not realize it. But they're dangerous as fuck. I mean, everybody had so many issues with the Ginsu and the samurai knives. They're nothing in comparison. They are a lot fucking safer. I tell you what, some of the knives out there are fucking beautiful. Beautiful for cooking with. Me, I prefer a fillet knife. particular kind of fillet knife. But that fillet knife I use for everything. Because it gives me the control I need. Yeah, as if I'm holding the knife in my hand right now, ready to use it. That's how comfortable that knife is. Fuck. And this one's almost dead, too.
This, and I'll post it soon on our YouTube page, so check back in the next 90 minutes or so. I'll probably post that one next. But throughout the entire year of 2024, Trump Media, which owns Truth Social, only made $3.6 billion, or $3.6 million, not billion dollars, sorry, $3.6 million in total revenue. Not profit, not net, not EBITDA, $3.6 million in total revenue, and lost $400 million as well. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is out there making posts like this. 60 Minutes are the biggest liars in the world. They engaged in deliberate deception to interfere with the last election. They deserve a long prison sentence.
The amount of hypocrisy from you saying that, Elon? Why is it neurotypicals cannot see all this hypocrisy? What is wrong with you fuckheads? For real. What is missing in your brains that you cannot see the blatant hypocrisy?
And he wrote that, I suppose, because 60 Minutes did a story on the shadiness of Doge. And why don't we just look at the declaration by Doge? Because there were a number of states that are basically filing to try to block Elon Musk and Doge's access to these various agencies. And so the White House says that Elon Musk, this was a declaration they put out last night. This is an under oath declaration. The White House says that Elon Musk is not the administrator of Doge, and it's not even part of Doge. He's, quote, a senior advisor to the president. And here's what it says in the declaration. The U.S. Doge service is a component of the executive office of the president. The U.S. Doge service temporary organization is within the U.S. Doge service. Both are separate from the White House. Mr. Musk is an employee in the White House. He is not an employee of the U.S. Doge service or U.S. Doge service temporary organization. Mr. Musk is not the U.S. Doge service administrator. I just want you to think about that they're saying that he's not the leader of Doge in an under oath declaration to a federal judge. Why are they saying that? Well, they want him to be foolproof and free from Freedom of Information Act requests, and they think that if they say he's within the office of the presidency, then he won't have to respond to FOIA requests, and he can do everything in secret, and he can just try to basically claim absolute immunity of the president, and he can cloak himself and do all the shady things that he wants to do, and then try to do it all in secret and say, oh, I'm just a super secret presidential advisor, so you can't get me to reveal my deliberations and what I'm talking about, because we're going to claim presidential immunity over it. That's why they're doing that, and they're framing it in that way right there. Other news that's worth reporting on as well, or worth sharing, but just shows you how disgusting what it is that the Trump administration is doing. The Trump administration is laying off CDC's epidemic intelligence service workers, threatening silence in public science and public health. So the people who are like the detectives who to try to research and determine all of these pandemics before they take place and outbreaks and try to stop them. Yeah, all of those people, or a lot of those people, are getting fired. But folks, it's all good, because Alina Habba just goes on Fox, posts these selfies of herself getting prepped backstage for her big Fox appearance, as you, the American people, are suffering under the Trump administration. It should be noted as well, though, that Donald Trump got bad news from the recent YouGov poll, which shows that Donald Trump's poll numbers are sinking. They're particularly getting lower among younger people. Only 37% of Gen Z now supports Donald Trump.
Good.
His support was actually above 50% with Gen Z right before the election and right after the election as well. And then you have Donald Trump sending Tom Homan, his border czar, to do these TV appearances where he refers to Democratic Congresswoman AOC as a dummy, and then he repeats she's a dummy over and over again.
Don't know if you need Robitussin for your cough, Advil for your aches, or Theraflu for cough.
As a dummy, and then he repeats she's a dummy over and over again.
First of all, I think she's, I won't go after her.
Tom, please do. Say what's on your mind. It's a holiday.
Look, she's the dumbest congresswoman ever elected to Congress, and she proves it every day. And look, bottom line is, I can't believe any member.
To even sit there and say that shows that you are a lot more unintelligent, a lot more lacking in brain power, as well as ability to sit there and adapt to changing environments around you. Congratulations! You just told us you're a dinosaur. And you're trying to keep yourself from going extinct. Guess what? There's a reason you went extinct.
Any member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, Independent.
Part of it, which was because you're so stupid. No, in reality, dinosaurs didn't die because of stupidity. No, that would be the Ice Age. And the event that created the Ice Age. Some dinos did live through it, but not many. No. Quite literally, no one on the right has any place to be speaking of the intelligence of people on the left. Academically, scientifically, factually speaking, y'all are continually making the dumb decisions. Y'all are continually being the idiots. And we're having to clean up after you. Every time.
We want to educate criminal illegal aliens who are in the country legally, been convicted of a violent crime.
Okay. Stop right there. There are many people here who are here illegally. And guess what? good portion of them are fucking white. Yeah, that's the funny thing. More than half of our immigrants are white. More than half of our illegal immigrants are white. Not Hispanic. Not African American. Not Latino. And then on top of that, every single illegal immigrant who works in the United States pays taxes. And they pay more taxes than you or me combined. Because illegal immigrants have a higher taxation rate. So, if anyone's not doing their fair share, it's these millionaires and billionaires that aren't paying taxes. Not the illegal immigrants. All illegal immigrants are doing is the jobs you don't want to do. And you want to look at these people and look at them negatively? Nah, man. Fuck out of here. You want to deport people that are doing jobs that don't get filled otherwise? No. I think we should deport you. Because you're threatening the American system. One that creates a way for illegal immigrants to become legal immigrants. And one way, believe it or not, is them being illegal for a little bit. Because they overstayed their visa. Guess what? So did Trump's wife. The first fucking lady. So did Elon Musk. I see y'all don't see y'all making a fuss about them. Don't see you making a fuss about those illegal immigrants. So, no. Just keep calling it illegal immigration, and we'll just keep calling you racist. Because that's exactly what it is racism. And you make it 100% blatantly obvious. Nazi son of a bitch.
And have been ordered removed by an immigration judge after due process at great taxpayer expense. You got a congressman or congresswoman that does not want ICE to do the job that Congress has mandated them to do and funds them to do.
Final piece of news I want you to follow today. So I reported yesterday how 4 of the Mayor Eric Adams' deputies resigned yesterday. There was mass resignations after Eric Adams' quid pro quo deal with the Trump administration for them to drop the criminal charges against him and dismiss it without prejudice, which the Republican prosecutors, the MAGA-light, MAGA-adjacent prosecutors, said, we can't do this, we don't want to dismiss it. There's a lot of evidence of his crimes. It would be illegal and or unethical for us to dismiss these charges against him. Even the Republican prosecutors resigned. Then Donald Trump's Department of Justice found someone to file the dismissal paperwork. Lots of people resigned within the DOJ and the New York Federal Prosecutor's Office, the SDNY, and then all these people resigned in Mayor Adams' office. And
stop resigning. Fucking fight. That's cowardice. Resigning so that way somebody else will let it through? No, that's fucking cowardice. Especially as a fucking judge. You should be standing up and going, no, this doesn't go fucking through. It's against the law. Cut it out back there. You're shaking the whole trailer.
Now it seems, this is a new statement from New York Governor Kathy.
That is the cowardice and weakness that Donald Trump is talking about. And you are proving him right. Every time you fucking resign.
Hochul and Eric Adams, quote, the alleged conduct at City Hall that has been reported over the past 2 weeks is troubling and cannot be ignored. Tomorrow, which is now today, I've asked key leaders to meet me at my Manhattan office for a conversation about the path forward, and this follows the Office of the New York City Comptroller explaining that they would be convening this inability committee, which they could actually vote to remove Mayor Eric Adams for his behavior, and I expect that that's going to happen today. Here, by the way, this is the type of stuff that MAGA Republicans are doing. As MAGAs are pickpocketing you and giving your money to the rich, they're out there posing in front of bizarre gold statues of Donald Trump. There's Lauren Boebert, fresh off of her, with Kid Rock, I won't even go there. Here she is with Donald Trump, a fake statue of Donald Trump, some weird conduct there as well. We'll keep you updated every step of the way here on the Midas Touch Network. Hit subscribe, help us get to 5 million subscribers, and thank you so much for watching.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MidasPlus.com.
When you're starting out with your finances, you want to see your money grow. Credit Karma can help you improve a low score and gives you tools to manage your spending and savings. So you're...
Last one.
For anyone who still says that Donald Trump is a brilliant businessman, well, show me the brilliance here. Donald Trump's company, Trump Media, which owns Truth Social, just announced it lost over $400 million last year. Its annual revenue declined 12% to just $3.6 million in revenue. Not profit, not EBITDA, not net revenue. Total revenue, $3.6 million. Look at the balance sheet right here. It's one of the worst balance sheets I've ever seen. I doubt Donald Trump even knows how to read a balance sheet or a profit and loss P&L statement. There's stunning admissions in this 10K filing. This is the annual report that publicly traded companies have to file with the SEC. So we finally got Donald Trump's 10K for the year ending in 2024, and it is just shocking what a bad business person he is. Let me show you some of the admissions that are made in this SEC report. It's called the 10K annual report filing. So this is Trump's filing. This is Trump's company. That means Donald Trump is saying the things that I'm about to tell you. It's not me, Ben Meiselas, the co-founder of Midas Touch. I'm not reading from you with some New York Times report or some corporate media. I'm reading you Donald Trump's own words from his company, from his company's report. So even Trump's own report admits that he's a horrible business person and that he's bankrupted so many businesses and screwed over so many people. What do you mean? What do I mean by that? Let me show you. Here's what it says. Part of the disclosures you have to make to the SEC is if you've had businesses that have failed in the past, you have to disclose it. So here it is. I've read the 100+ pages here, so you don't have to. But here's what it says. A number of companies that were associated with President Donald J. Trump have filed for bankruptcy. There can be no assurances that the Trump Media Company will not also become bankrupt. Here's what it says. This is just filed. 2/14/2025 was the filing, and now it's being made public. Here's what it says. Entities associated with Donald J. Trump have filed for bankruptcy protection in the past. The Trump Taj Mahal, which was built and owned by Donald Trump, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1991. The Trump Plaza, the Trump Castle, and the Plaza Hotel, all owned by Donald Trump at the time, filed for Chapter 11 in 1992. THCR, which was founded by Donald Trump in 1995, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2004. Trump Entertainment Resorts, Inc., the new name given to Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts after its 2004 bankruptcy, declared bankruptcy again in 2009. While all of the foregoing were in different businesses than Trump Media, there can be no guarantee that Trump Media's performance will exceed the performance of those entities, the bankrupt entities. Have you ever heard of someone who's bankrupted more businesses than that? I get maybe you bankrupt something once, I don't know, maybe twice, bankruptcy after bankruptcy, but it's not done.
Not a casino, though. You've got to be a special kind of stupid to be able to bankrupt a casino. For real. That's not an easy thing. Bankrupting a casino. Let me put it this way. The riverboat casinos used to get robbed because they always had money. Not a little bit. A lot.
Do you know Samosa Caucus?
Samosa Caucus? No. One moment, we're right back. I gotta pee. No, that name is not something I know. It's not by that name.
They were in the election for becoming president.
There's a bit more to it than that. The rigging of the election was done in multiple ways by more than just them. And I kind of thought that's who you were referring to, but if I don't actually know it, I'm not going to say I do. No,
They are Gandus, which means Indian. How could they allow other than Americans?
It is another kind of Indonesian person, yes. How could they allow other than Americans? My friend, that statement doesn't quite add up. Are you saying, how was this caucus allowed to mess with shit? It seems like there's a question there. I just need to make sure I understand your question so I can answer it. Well, if I have the knowledge to answer it, that is.
Shut your Gandu ass up, I'll come smash you in. I'll come there, lick your belly button.
You think I'm Indian? For real? Because that's a first. Bro, you would try and end up as paste on the fucking ground. And I wouldn't need a weapon. FYI.
All haul Trump, he will kick your ass out the country.
HAIL.
Trump on top, he got max surge.
Trump is a weak, tiny, pathetic, cowardly little piece of shit. That's not a man. That's a piss poor excuse for a pile of dog shit. Straight up. I could walk up to Donald Trump and he would shit himself. Done it with many people before. Weak people like that. Weak cowards like
back
that.
To Gandu Island.
You know what? If he wants to take an American citizen that was born here, has been here for 3 generations, and send them back to Sparta, I think I'd be rather content with going back to my ancestral land. No, I'm not Indonesian. I'm Greek. So, Mr. Racist.
Where is your visa?
Hey, buddy. Somebody who is 4th gen American doesn't need a visa.
He doesn't allow nationality from being born anymore. He will kick your ass.
Trump couldn't kick the ass of a 2nd grader. Y'all really think awfully highly of such a weak, pathetic, and cowardice man. Not only does Trump have little dick syndrome, he's also got little man syndrome. Y'all need to stop trying to suck on his dick. There's nothing there to suck. If you don't believe me, ask Stormy Daniels. Y'all are fucking stuck on stupid with your shit.
That man will full edit course your ass.
That man couldn't fucking lift his finger in harm towards me. No matter how much he tried. And it's fucking hilarious that morons like you think he's something. He's an old man. Weak, frail, and incontinent. He's a fucking coward.
Says the guy with Gandu genetics.
Yeah, you're stuck on stupid.
He's on hard 0, he will full box you in endgame.
Hard 0 has no experience, hasn't done shit.
He slammed Peterbot.
He didn't slam nobody. That coward is too fucking lazy to do a goddamn thing. Other than sign papers. He is quite literally the West Coast CEO that you hate so much. He's the coastal elite, you dumb fuck. Elon is the coastal elite you hate so much, you dumb fuck.
He's winning next Globals, Peter Buck robs him.
He ain't winning shit. Except a jail sentence. If he doesn't have a heart attack. You guys quite literally voted for a corpse. Skeletor has more fucking balls. The Joker has more fucking balls and brains. Donald Trump is literally what you said you didn't want. You voted for it.
He has best IGL, Queasy, and Faxity as Fragger. He will win.
Read what you wrote. Read that. Read it. Moron. Are you trying to put together a coherent sentence? Because that's not. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's not a coherent sentence. You want to try it again?
He slammed Kamala Harris in a 1v1.
Are you smoking meth? Stop it. Put down the meth pipe. It's not worth it.
Slam Kamala Harris in a 1v1. Yeah, no. Were you smoking meth? Or crack? Or heroin? Because that's not what happened. Oh, never mind the fact that the rest of the world is against you bitch asses. Have you ever stopped to think for a second? The only ones that aren't upset about Trump are the dictators.
He should build a bigger wall.
Why? So the Mexicans can have more fun having competitions to see who can climb it faster? Giving prizes and shit away? Because that's what happened to the last one. Y'all are stuck on stupid with this shit. We're gonna build the wall. Mexico. Okay, we'll get over it. Y'all really do not think your shit through. This is the critical thinking the left's talking about.
Keep the cartels out. They are helping Mexican economy too much.
Bro, you're stuck on stupid. Cartels don't help the Mexican economy. The cartels are not part of the Mexican government. Get that through your thick head. You know, you should stop eating the bullshit that Trump is shitting into your mouth. You really should.
Queasy will get the high ground and Faxity will full frag trust Trump got next globals.
No. The only thing Trump's got is Trump. And the sooner you pull your head out of your ass and realize it, the sooner you're going to stop hurting yourself. Quite literally, right now, Trump has you by the arm and is using your arm to punch you in the face and saying, stop hitting yourself. And you're believing him that you're hitting yourself. That he's not doing a goddamn thing.
Trump on top.
Hey, if you like Trump on top of you, go into town, that's your business, not mine. None of us need to know that information. What you do in your own bedroom is your own business, not ours.
Use full editing coursing to your house RN and he will one pump you.
See, the one thing you don't get, it doesn't matter who you are. You enter someone's house without permission, the castling, or castle.
Kamala Harris is not
comes
white,
into play.
she is not American.
And that's racism. That is blatant racism. I tried to be nice about it. I tried to warn you not to be doing that shit, but you didn't listen. It's one thing to be an ignorant racist about me, who is legitimately an American, but you want to sit there and say somebody else isn't because of the color of their skin? You're not American. Quite literally, that goes against anything and everything that is the American way of life. Congratulations, go back to Russia, where you belong.
Again, there's a whole other section of companies that crashed that Donald Trump lent his name, image, and likeness to. A number of companies that had license agreements with Donald Trump have failed. There can be no assurances that Trump Media will also not fail. Trump Shuttle, launched by Donald Trump in 1989, defaulted on its loans in 1990 and ceased to exist by 1992. Trump University, founded by Donald Trump in 2005, ceased operations in 2011 amid lawsuits and investigations regarding the company's business practices. Trump Vodka, a brand of vodka produced by Drinks Americas under license from the Trump Organization, was introduced in 2005 and discontinued in 2011. Trump Mortgage LLC, a financial services company founded by Donald Trump in 2006, ceased operations in 2007. GoTrump.com, a travel site founded by Donald Trump in 2006 ceased operations in 2007. Trump Steaks, a brand of steak and other meats founded by Donald Trump in 2007, discontinued sales 2 months after its launch. While all of these businesses were in different industries than the Trump Media Group, there can be no guarantee that Trump Media's performance will exceed the performance of those entities. I just listed so many entities that failed well before Donald Trump ever got involved in politics. So what? Was this a Democratic deep state time machine conspiracy where they went back into the past and they set Donald Trump up for all of these things? Or is he just a horrible, awful business person and he's showing it once again because Trump Media only generated 3.6 or 3, what was the number? 3.6 million dollars in total revenue on a $400 million total loss. He's doing it again. He's doing it to our country. Folks, he's a con artist. He's a liar. He's a felon. He's a sexual assaulter. He is a horrible, despicable human being who is a loser in every track record of life is being a loser. And whose receipts am I using? I'm using his. I'm using his receipts that he's a loser.
This episode of the Midas Touch podcast is brought to you by Graza. Everyone knows I love food, and what's been taking my meals to the next level lately?
Want to earn cryptocurrency? Try.
No, I don't.
That rising inflation will hurt Trump Media's future financial prospects. May I repeat that again? Donald Trump, in his own 10K annual report, says rising inflation in America in the future under his administration will cause harm to the future economic prospects of Trump Media, which had only generated $3.6 million in revenue last year. Again, he's a hard... Who looks at this and goes, yeah, that's a good business person. Put it this way. One McDonald's franchise, not all of McDonald's, like one McDonald's.
Right? Exactly. So, Zebra, or should I call you Unreal? How would you like to be addressed? What is the best name for me to call you? With that other person having Zebra too. Unless you actually prefer to be called Zebra, I don't want to call you that. Just because I don't want to relate you to that. No, I deal with that fairly often. I also constantly deal with people, well, more so now. Kamala? Am I saying that right? Really doesn't bother me. As long as I can say it right and not keep insulting you, that's what I care. Yes, very much so. And that's putting it lightly. I knew this shit was going to happen back on episode 2, season 1 of The Apprentice. I actually called this shit out. So, what is this Peter bot? Maybe you can fill me in on this. So I don't know too much about this. And I also need to get my TTS working again. Because for some reason, it decided to stop on me. I have to say I don't exactly pay attention to too many people within the space. Champs winner. Oh, okay. Sweet. That's actually awesome. Thank you for that. No, I know Trump doesn't have a candle in comparison to that. It's day and night. Yeah. Dashcoin. Okay, so I'm guessing it's one. Dashcoin is one of the cryptocurrencies, or I don't know, like Bitcoin. I don't do cryptocurrencies. It's not my thing. I prefer hard cash. And I'm a little old like that. I mean, I technically do have some cryptocurrencies. I do have a cryptocurrency wallet. I just don't use it. And I'm not trying to add to it. Though, I very much have the ability if I want to. In a way that would actually be enjoyable to me as well. I am currently a member of Project Sandbox. You might know about it, you might not. I can't, as far as I'm aware, go too much more into what I know about the project. Except, it's gaming, not governmental related. It's not something you're going to see on your taxes. It's not like that. Let's get to the last bit of this.
Franchise does significantly more revenue than what Trump media made. It's like the McDonald's down your block, basically. And it's probably profitable and not losing any money. That's Trump's total revenue. Here's what it says. Inflation and the global supply chain will be a big problem for Trump media. Currently, the U.S. economy is experiencing a bout of increased inflation. It goes on to say, although inflation did not have a significant impact on our results of operations for the years ending December 31, 2024, 2023, and 2022, we anticipate that inflation will have an impact on our business going forward, including through a...
So, my chats keep trying to say that you're a suspicious user, probably because of the name relation. Or the fact that your account is fresh as hell. So, yeah, we'll just call you Zebra.
Material increase in our cost of revenue and operating expenses in the coming years, if not permanent.
So, what was the point of the first bit? If it weren't for the fact that names can be weird's not the right word. I could say it sounds like Peter's better in general. So, I won't argue on that one. Of course, I need to see more about Peter directly before I go full on freaking school. That's just me. I'm very, very particular. Erstatch. This is a name I'm not even close to familiar. That's an understatement. That really is an understatement. Trump is not just bad for America. Trump is bad for the world. There's no two ways around that one. I would not be satisfied with him just losing his status. He would need to lose his status as a free citizen for the rest of his natural life. Because quite literally, that man is mentally, morally, and ethically bankrupt. The fact that somebody like him made it into office really goes to show how poorly we've been educating our people.
Continued or permanent rises in core costs could impact our growth negatively. That's Trump's own company saying that inflation is going to rise. What did Donald Trump promise on day one? That inflation would go down right away. I have a video of him saying it. Here he is saying it. Let's play it.
So when I win, I will immediately bring prices down. Starting on day one, we will end Kamala's war on American energy, and we will drill, baby drill. We're going to drill.
He is a fraud. He is a con artist. He is a liar. Now costs are going up, right? Prices are going up. Egg prices record highs. Groceries going up. Housing less affordable. Trump can't even run his own digital media company. You think he can run a country?
How to change the way you pizza. Step 1, grab a delicious Papa Murphy's pizza. Step 2, bake it. Step 3, chow down on
You
the
got
delicious
this right here,
bits.
young lady.
Order the fan favorite cowboy pizza right now at Papa Murphy's.
Are you kidding me? It goes on to say here are some other risk factors
Q18 Road
involved
is so
in
better than
the
Peter
Trump
Eagle High Ground 12-12 skates.
Okay, so there's got to be something funny here. Are you guys talking about a gamer named Trump? Because let me tell you right now.
YouTube, Q8T, Trump better he got the White House 0 King Peterborough got no chance next season. Peter griefed by landing on him.
I'm thinking he is. Bro. Trump doesn't even have an internet connection. That's the difference in game. Trump's not playing with nobody except himself. Trump's a jerk-off. Always has been a jerk-off. Now, if there's a gamer going around with tag of Donald Trump or the real Donald Trump or what the fuck ever, I can tell you now,
Phase
it's
why was
not
an
Donald
account
Trump.
made an hour ago.
That's what I said, Science.
You're
Believe it or not, Phase, most Trump supporters are rather big.
Q8T. No, he's playing will Marius Cow and Malabuka he will win globals.
Yeah. You will very much find many Trump supporters, if not most, are brainwashed. If they're not brainwashed, they are
YouTube,
morally lacking.
Q8T. Trump will dominate Peterborough.
The only thing Trump's going to dominate is the president himself. The sooner you realize that, the better you will be. Now, do yourself a favor. Go get an education in reality. And honestly, after that, sit back and let the adults work. Plain and simple. He did the kitty. He's like, yeah. See, people backed by businesses, especially big businesses, is not necessarily a good thing. That's something to watch out for. It's negative. 9 times out of 10. Not every time, but almost every time.
There can be no assurances that Trump media will continue to be able to comply with the continued listing standards of NASDAQ. Trump Media's continued eligibility to maintain the listing of its securities on NASDAQ depends on a number of factors, including the price and the number of persons that hold Trump Media's securities. It goes on to say, As you read more, if NASDAQ delists Trump Media Securities from trading on its exchange for failure to meet its listing standards, Trump Media is not able to list such securities on another national securities exchange, then Trump Media Securities could be quoted on an over-the-counter market. If this were to occur, Trump Media and its security holders could face significant material adverse consequences, including recent reduced liquidity for its security, a limited availability of market quotations for securities, a determination that Trump Media's common stock is a penny stock, which will require brokers trading in the common stock to adhere to more stringent rules and possibly result in a reduced level of trading activity. And while all of this is going on too, remember my report yesterday about Javier Milei, the Argentinian president who promoted a meme coin that proved to be very scammy, causing people to lose their life savings in Argentina and elsewhere. The Libra coin that was done by this Kelsier Ventures, the same company that did the Smolania meme coin. Look at Trump's coin too, by the way. Trump's coin over the past month is down 45%, crashing. Melania's meme coin crashed. What's interesting about Trump Media, though, this is just a wild aspect of it, right? $3 million in revenue on $400 million in losses. What Trump is good at is being a con artist and a fraud and a scammer. Because, I mean, you can take a look right here. You have the stock is trading at $30.39 with a $6.59 billion market cap. With a $6.59 billion market cap. You want me to tell you what a company that loses $400 million with a 3.6 million in revenue is usually valued at? Probably nothing. It probably would be bankrupt by now if it wasn't Trump Media with Trump in the Oval Office and using it to get out his messages or propaganda. Let me give you the most generous, in my view, evaluation. But I'm not trying to give you stock advice, so I'm giving you my opinion only. $3 million in revenue with no profit. What would you apply? A 5 times multiple? Maybe. Let me give it a 10 times multiple. I'll give it a 10 times multiple, and I will totally ignore the losses, which why would you do that? And I'll ignore, I won't do it by EBITDA or profit. I'll just say 10 times multiple. No one would ever apply a multiple to a company that's going in the opposite direction, losing money in this span. But, so what my valuation, maybe $30 million? Maybe $30 million. So if you had 200 million outstanding shares, let's just use that number, on a $30 million total value, that's why, in my opinion, it's quite literally a penny stock. If I gave it the most favorable of favorable valuations, just do the math of what one share would be worth on a 30 million valuation with 200 million individual shares. So then imagine if the valuation is more like 10 million. It's why this is so utterly absurd right now. I'm just giving you the facts and data. I read from you his report. So tell me what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. I got to stop saying 4. We're on our way to 5. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski.
And that's the last of our stuff for today. He freaking
Seems funny he got called out and left lol.
Oh, he left, did he? Honestly, kind of doesn't surprise me.
Def same guy.
Yeah.
I see you all lol.
Well, we're just gonna add said guy to the list because he earned it with the first name. I'm gonna have to go down to the freaking office. Please tell me it's not him. I can still just. Give me flame! QQ. Yeah, all my lighters are dead.